Heyo YouTube, Bubba here.
Yo, it's me from the future, or I guess the present. Just wanted to let you know that most of what you're seeing was made well before Halo Infinite came out, and most of it was actually recorded a little over a year ago now. So, if anything seems off, that's why. But yeah, all right, on with the video.
So I know Easter Sunday was last weekend, but I have quite the video here to show off what goodies I have in my basket. If you couldn't figure it out from the title, we're going to be taking a look at some secrets, references, and even an undiscovered Easter egg in Halo 5. The Easter egg I'll cover in the end hasn't been documented anywhere that I could find with the exception of one case which very loosely touches on it. Since Halo 5 was released back in October 27, 2015, we've found a giant sandworm on the rig referencing Dune, this creepy dweller feller on Coliseum, names written in the stars on Torque to pay tribute to the daughters of a community member, a Mr. Meeseeks box, and several other things on Riptide, lemon soda cans on Molten with some dead bodies, probably due to all that sugar consumption, and the names of the four main developers of Plaza written on a wall just out of the map and scattered in various spots. Now looking at Fathom, we can see something just like on Plaza. The names above these scuba suits represent the devs who shaped the map into what it is today. Lewis, for Chris Lewis, a senior environment artist who is the map lead for Fathom and Riptide. Stone, for Jacob Stone, a multiplayer environment artist who worked on assets in Fathom, the Breakout Arena, and Warzone map Escape from ARC. He also crafted objects like the Strongholds, Flag Stand, and Grab Lift. Chris Edwards, multiplayer environment artist who also worked on the Warzone maps Battle of Noctis and Urban. And Jeremiah Strong, a 3D environment artist responsible for in-source art and asset integration. He helped create what's known as the Kothal, or Kothal, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, otherwise known as a nightmare eel on Fathom. He also built and textured assets for the campaign level Battle of Sunayan and sculpted these very scuba suits we see here. He's the guy, Jeremiah Strong. Now looking at Riptide, we have a couple more divers here. We have Enoch, or Enoch, which represents 3D environment artist Enoch O, also credited for his work on Tyrant, Warzone maps, Attack on Sanctum, and Temple, and focused a lot on designing for the campaign like in the level Battle of Sunayan. And lastly, we have Dalziel, which represents Kevin Dalziel. He's a senior lighting artist responsible for casting wonderful illuminations across numerous landscapes in Halo. He's also the main man behind the lighting in a lot of the Halo Infinite media we've seen. He really knows how to get people immersed in the experience. You can imagine how passionate he is about his work, and hey, maybe he was getting so immersed in his work on Fathom that he literally wanted to dive into the map. That would explain why his scuba suit is the only one missing out of all of his colleagues on Riptide. This guy down here, that's not Scuba Steve, that's Scuba Kev. Okay, so that takes care of the divers. Now what else do we have? Well, there's also a couple other names we see on Fathom. In the back of Red Base, a mini submarine can be seen behind a glass window. On it is the name of the sub, the SS Merle. This name is a reference to one of the senior environment artists of this map, Mike Merle. He worked on several other multiplayer maps as well and had the role of map lead for Plaza and Overgrowth. Having his first name appear in Plaza and last name in Fathom, he's now signed uh, 3 maps in Halo 5. This guy gets everywhere. So speaking of signing maps, I also wanted to point out these peculiar decals. They don't look so special at a glance, just seeming like they're model numbers or something, but taking a closer look at them, they're identical with the exception of the first letter. What's interesting though is the format of these. It seems like there's someone's 3 initials followed by a date, June 26, 2013. I know that sounds a bit like a reach, but hear me out. The initials of Fathom's map lead, Chris Lewis, are C and L. And after a bit of research, it looks like his middle name begins with an M. So that would explain the CML, but what about the date? I'm not too sure to be honest, but I'm guessing that's around the time the map was first built. We can see from concept art that the map was in its early stages in 2013, so I think it's reasonable to assume that it's a date of some sort of milestone in development. Perhaps it's the day that the decal was made? I'm not sure. Either that, or maybe it's something more personal. Like, I was thinking because the other decal shares the same last initial, that could possibly represent a family member, or even Chris's significant other. They complement each other after all. One's on red side and the other's on blue, and they're bound to the same date, so maybe the numbers represent the day they were married. I don't know. I don't know. I could also just be completely wrong with that. I don't know though, like, It'll probably just stay a mystery. Yeah. But that's it for the names. Psych! Check this. So just outside the scuba hall in Red Street, you'll find a crate with text that reads, "Property of Captain Mulhern." You're probably catching on at this point, but if you're not somehow and you're thinking, well, surely that's the captain of the exploration team in this underwater base, then in a sense you'd actually be right. Like, absolutely right. Because Captain Mulhern represents multiplayer environment art lead Wade Mulhern. He led the team of dozens of artists in creating the visual experience in Halo 5's multiplayer. That means that all of the base maps you see in Arena and Warzone were under his artistic directions. He really is the captain after all. And that's it for the names, for real this time. The last thing we're going to be looking at is something I'm surprised hasn't been given a proper spotlight. This is something that has struck the eyes of few, only those who dove deeper than Scuba Kev, deeper than Franck. Yes, so deep that they entered a new world. Rapture. This breathtaking yet dark city is where you'll find yourself overcoming confrontations like no other. Housed in a game that challenges your morality and sanity, it's where you'll grow more familiar with hooks than a wrench. That's right, I'm talking about BioShock. You ever get a BioShock vibe from this map? Yeah, there's definitely some elements that take inspiration from it. You don't see it? Take a look at the scuba suits. They're far from exact replicas of the Big Daddy suits, but there's a bit of a resemblance there. If you're still not convinced, how about I show you these shots of fallen Big Daddies in BioShock? Sunken divers who met their demise underwater, resting on the sea floor. Yeah, we have one of those. If you need more than just visual elements, then maybe an audio element is more of your thing. I don't think this next one can serve as indisputable evidence, but I'll let you listen and decide for yourself. Here's what it sounds like to be on Fathom with the whales around. And here's what it sounds like to be in Rapture with a Big Daddy around. And here's what a cow from Minecraft sounds like slowed down. So in conclusion, Fathom is a reference to Minecraft. Boom. Okay, but seriously, there's definitely some similar vibes between BioShock and Fathom. And if you still don't think so, let me finally show you the Easter egg that'll get you to realize it once and for all. In the back of Red Base, there are two hyperbaric chambers, one which has the SS Merle dock just on the other side of it, labeled with an O2 on the door, and the other has this door slightly open with a tube slithering into it. This one's labeled O1. If we look into this one from the right side, we'll see a diver helmet laid nicely on a seat. Don't let that distract you, that's not what we're looking for. We want to see what's on the side across from it, so let's take a peek from the left side. It's tricky to see with that tube in the way, but if we jump... Oh! What's this? It looks like there's some sort of mask in there. It's tough to get a nice view of it though, so let's try something else. We can use a feature that allows us to detach our camera from our Spartan by turning on machinima mode in the game type settings. In Forge, this option's always turned on, but we'll stick with a custom game. When machinima mode is enabled, simply hold the reload button and up on the D-pad for 2 seconds. This will pop our camera out of or back into our Spartan and allow us to explore many more areas. Opening the scoreboard while in this camera will toggle the control between the camera and the Spartan, but we don't need to use that for this. What we're going to do is put our back against the thin wall like this and look straight ahead, then hold reload and D-pad up, and voila, our camera's clipped through to the other side. Now let's get a clear view of that, shall we? So this appears to be a rabbit mask, but it's as if it was designed to look a certain way. Well, that's because it was. Take a look at this mask from BioShock and let's compare it to the one that we see here. Nearly identical. So what is this mask anyway? This masquerade mask was used in BioShock by characters called splicers. The masks were used to hide severe facial deformities they suffered after extreme abuse of a chemical substance known as Adam. So that should be enough evidence to show that this map has some sort of connection to BioShock. Now this mask isn't the only one I found in this map actually. I found 2 others on the other side of the map, so let's take a look over there. You ever look through the glass inside Blue Base and see this area? You might wish maybe you can explore down there. Well, that's actually what we're going to be doing, and that's exactly where we're going to be going. So let's start with the glass door that leads to the staircase. Go down the stairs until you're about halfway to the bottom, then turn to look at the railing by the large containers. Look closely and you'll see another rabbit mask. This one caught me by surprise when I found it, but not nearly as much as this next one. Make your way further down this room until you see this diver helmet, then turn to the left, Look under this small box, and there will be a pig mask. Nah, that's just me actually. The actual spot is a little further down though. So go past these crates and find the diver helmet to the left. You'll want to follow the tarp around the corner, and just past this light, you'll find a third bunny mask. I was so surprised when I stumbled upon that one because it's in such a hidden spot, but believe it or not, you can actually see it from inside the map. Arguably even better than you can the one on the stairs. That's not to say that they're easy to see though. The one in red is the easiest to see of the three, and it's still pretty hard to get a sight of it. I said at the start of this video that this Easter egg is virtually undocumented, so I'd like to point out that there was one video that I managed to find when putting this video together that shows off one of the masks. I'll provide the link to that video and the sources I found my information from in the description. But finding these masks on this map was pretty exciting to me because as low as they may be, just thinking that this game's been out for 5.5 years.
Now it's been out for almost 7 years. Jeez.
And not seeing anyone find these and make the connections, just keeping all that in mind, and the fact that it's both a casual and competitive map, it's just baffling to me, and dare I say unfathomable. Sorry, but yeah, I wish there was more to it though. Like, I'd like to believe that there is, but I've tried a lot of different things to activate some other Easter egg to this, all to no avail. It could be fun to think that maybe like there's some sort of way to bring the divers to life or trigger some sort of audio to play somewhere. I don't know, but I'm thinking that'll only play out in our fantasies, unfortunately. But yeah, if you ever do find something though, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. Like, go ahead and tell me in the comments or in an Xbox message on Twitter, whatever you want. I'll read it when I can. But yeah, I greatly appreciate everyone who took the time to watch this, the devs who put all that terrific work in to make our gaming experience possible, and all those who stayed loyal to me and been so patient and supportive. I don't express it enough, but you guys seriously are wonderful for that, so thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future of Halo holds, and I'm excited to reveal what special content I got in store for you guys, so I know you're gonna love it. So please stay tuned, stick around if you can. I really appreciate it. So, but until then, I hope you find happiness through one way or another. Be safe, be healthy, and be positive. Peace. It's so weird.